I don't avidly follow rail news, but all over ever since the East Palestine, you get the other one on Sunday from Springfield, Ohio. Like I feel like everything hitting my news feed is just NSC derailments.
The sad thing is that throughout your whole entire life, trains have derailed every day, and sometimes a few times a day. And normally it doesn't really matter. You just put the train back on the track. It's like, around the Christmas tree or whatever, toy train sets. Every now and then there's a really serious one. Like crude by rail is a big problem because the tank cars were pressurized because the crude had from fracking had dissolved gases, so they would tend to explode, and that's very serious. And that's a good reason to use pipelines or safer methods of transportation for crude. But the reality is that these things have been derailing all the time. It's a very inexpensive and safe way to move freight. Very rarely does anyone get hurt, or even a lot of cargo isn't even damaged in the process. So every day of your life it's happened. Never seen a press report about it. There was an accident that looked terrible. I agree, it's not a great accident. I'm not downplaying that it's a bad accident, but in this incredibly rare and bad accident, there were no injuries and no fatalities, and everybody admitted it right away and got on top of cleaning it up, making sure there was testing. I'm not exactly, people are like, oh, they're so evil. It's like, I mean, what is it that you want them to do that they're not doing? Is really the question. And I guess we need villains periodically, and the rails will be the villain for a little while, but it wasn't even their fault. And I was like, oh, brake regulation. It's like, you guys don't know anything about brake regulation. I know about brake regulation. I spent weeks of my life just looking at brake regulations. In real time back in like 2015, 16 when it was happening. 17, and the Trump administration killed it. Well, just because the Trump administration killed it doesn't mean it was good regulation, right? Like that isn't how anything works. So it's a point of frustration. If you get me at a cocktail party and start talking about rail regulation, I'm going to have to leave. So the reality is that I think it's actually a good sign that safety regulation for railroads and transportation in general is very effective, right? No injuries, no deaths. It's being cleaned up. It is really, I get, very miserable and disruptive and scary for the people who live there. But if you really dig into it, you'll find that you're surrounded by industrial pollutants all the time, and you should really clean the air around yourself all the time and filter the water around yourself all the time. That's basically now how I live my life.
Hey there, Hedgeye Nation, or if you're not part of Hedgeye Nation, thanks for watching Hedgeye on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure to click on the button below there. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You can also follow the link in the description to our website to get even more great investing content.